has highlighted the need for a new Skills England to transform opportunities and drive growth. Recent analysis from tech company Multiverse reveals the financial scale of the challenge ahead. Joining me now is the CEO of the Multiverse, Euan Blair. Thanks so much for joining us, Euan. A very good morning to you. I know you've got a report coming out that's been looking at the skills shortages. What are the headline takeaways for you?
Well, I think the first thing to understand is data skills are really everywhere because they range from things like data entry through to data analysis, as well as skills around automation and predictive modeling. And they're relevant to so many people. The kinds of people we're training in data skills have job titles like social worker, nurses, accountants, warehouse managers. So I think the thing to really understand is they affect every single part of the economy.
So you're saying a need for people to have a good grasp of data skills?
It's absolutely essential. We've been using data upskilling in the workforce, largely through apprenticeships, to do things like helping a car company optimize processes in one of its factories so it can ship more cars a week, through to helping NHS hospitals use predictive analytics to better triage patients and manage bed capacity. So it's a really important issue, and we've quantified that issue across 1,000 companies as being worth about £57 billion in productivity to the economy.
But in terms of trying to train people up as best as possible, I mean, having good data analytics skills, I guess, relies on being tech savvy. It relies on being fairly mathematical, I would imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that something that's easy to teach people, particularly at different stages in life, to grasp, or is it quite unique to the type of person that you happen to be?
So I actually think that's quite a common misconception because, for example, we collect data on people's maths performance in academic settings, and we see no correlation between maths performance and ability to learn data analytics or use data skills. One of the most important things about an apprenticeship is the training happens on the job. And part of the challenge with the traditional education system is so much of the learning is purely happening in a classroom. When you work with people, so they can identify actual tasks they can do that data analytics can help them resolve, and they learn incredibly quickly. And the pace of learning is just much, much quicker when you're applying it on the job. So the big focus for us is show people how they can use data in order to do their jobs better.
As you know well, there's always a debate around unemployment, on training and immigration. They're all very much linked. Do you think that all of the necessary skills to fill all of the necessary jobs exist already in the country, or is immigration something that is absolutely critical and needed as well?
So they absolutely don't exist today. And when we quantified this, we actually did a report that showed about half of the workforce has had no formal training over the last 5 years. Part of the challenge is there hasn't been enough emphasis on training the incumbent workforce and on ensuring that we have alternative routes into careers that aren't just reliant on universities and academic environments. Immigration will always be something that is needed in certain sectors of the economy. But if we're serious about retraining the workforce in data skills, in AI skills, which are increasingly becoming fundamental, and just in broader operational and process-facing skills that are crucial in nearly every job, we don't need to have this debate about whether we need more immigration or not. We can instead focus on actually unlocking the potential that exists within the working population today.
Do you find that people embrace this sort of training, or is there still, understandably, a much greater desire to go through the more traditional routes, as you alluded to, whether that's university or other academic institutions?
So I think if you look at people already in the workforce, they're delighted when their employers are investing in them. And most of us would much rather see companies adopt an approach of reskilling rather than redundancy in the face of tech changes. We also have lots of data that shows that people that undergo this sort of training, and in particular apprenticeships, are more likely to get a pay increase, they're more likely to get a promotion, and they're more likely to stay in work for longer. And I think when you look at people who might be applying for jobs, who might be leaving school and would traditionally go through the university system, we're seeing applications to universities fall as people are increasingly looking to things like apprenticeships to actually secure a job for them without debt.
Euan Blair, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
The CEO of Multiverse, Euan Blair. Now, the National Pharmacy Association have urged people